Hi everybody, it's RPG Garama, continuing Warriors of Mars, and we're moving on to part 2 of the land warfare. So last time was scales and turn sequences. This time we're moving on to movement trays and organization rules as written. For game purposes, when employing the 1:50 scale, it is necessary to mount all figures upon movement trays, hereafter called stands, in order to conform to the organization of Martian armies as given by Edgar Rice Burroughs. The basic stand is 2 human-type infantry figures and 1 figure per stand of any other type of troop. This may be modified, however, by mounting all troops on the same size stands according to the following ratios: 10 human type infantry, or 5 green Martian infantry, or 5 human type cavalry, or 3 green Martian cavalry. A one-man stand should be square, with a two-man stand double that, etc. Stand depth should be double that of infantry for human-type cavalry and quadruple that of infantry for green Martian cavalry. In any case, some 2 and 1 figure stands should be included for representation of scouts and skirmishers. Personality figures and their personal guard are mounted on a one-man stand. Martian organization is as follows: number of troops in unit. So 100 troops. Number of figures would be 2. Designation of the unit is called a Utan. It's U-T-A-N. Unit commander is a Dwar. D-W-A-R, which is roughly like a captain. Number of troops in unit, 1,000. Number of figures on the stand would be 20. Designation of unit is a Dar. Unit commander is a Tidwar, and that's roughly a colonel. So Dar is spelled D-A-R, and Tidwar is spelled T-E-E-D-W-A-R. Number of troops in unit, 10,000. Number of figures, 200. Designation of unit, Umak. U-M-A-K. Unit commander, Odwar. That's a general. Number of troops in unit, 20,000 plus. Just does a little line. Designation of unit, Army. Unit commander is a Jedwar, or marshal in, English. So you're getting some Barsubian language right now. So it's important to understand that there is actually, Edgar Rice Burroughs came up with a language for Barsum, and it does actually have some conventions. People have studied it. So, yes. So Dwar, Tidwar, Odwar, Jedwar. So there you go. And you have to put these on stands. I put a lot of little Libyans on 1-inch stands. That's what I did. When we experimented with it, and we used little Libyan 1/72 guys. to be our figurines when we did a land combat. Not saying do what I did. I'm just saying I could get a box of Libyans. You know, it was not a big deal to experiment with them. Um, Most of the figurines I've seen are good sized metal figurines that came out for various versions, you know, like for this game and then for other games. That was what was being envisioned. And like I think Heritage came out with Mars game, and you know, this is what you find. So it's, and I do think there were some ones for this. I don't know, I have to go look through my images. I don't have any little lead Martians, okay? But yeah, at the time. So my point is you're going to have to spend a little time if you've never done anything with wargaming and just kind of soak in some wargaming stuff. I'll be doing some terminology and stuff. And I would suggest you just experiment with little paper people at first. Then you can figure out what scale is going to be applicable for your figures and things like that. Table space is a real thing, okay? I mean, not all of us have a big place with huge tables that we can make sandbox tables, literally that have sand in them, to do it all old school. Would I like to make a sandbox table? Yes, but first I have to have room for that, so it's on the to-do list. The point being is, you know, look at games like Chainmail, look at other old war games, look at what people are doing modernly. Wrap your head around what a stand is. A stand, you know, is an actual size, and they want everybody else's armies to be like stands the same way, so that the rules work well. And then you have your little people in there. And a lot of the modern stands, you'll see that, you know, they have a spot in them for the figurine to fit, so you can remove the figurine, that kind of thing, or swap them out. So I just wanted to touch on that. It's okay to look at modern stuff, okay to look at other things that were being produced in the 70s or before this, to get an idea of how you want to war game this out if you want to put on a big army war, and in actual what figurine scale you're going to be using. And like I say, start with something cheap. Let's just start with something cheap, okay? Just follow, you know, just take my advice on this, and that way, if you hate it, you're not out. If you love it, but there was something you wanted to change, again, you're not out, and you can then make something better. So that's why I'm a fan of, if you're going to first start warplaying, paper armies are good, or those little 1/72 army in a box. Those are your friends to get you kind of going, or the big box of army men, you know, and play with those first and get an idea. Then get down to, okay, now we're going to make the really cool skeleton army, or, you know, Barsoomian army. That's my advice. You don't go broke. just don't. So next section will be beginning of movement, and that's going to be several parts because there's a lot of information.